Welcome to episode 5 of Sangatsu no Lion. Last time we dealt with a little bit of Hina's emotional issues before getting into the Botaro stuff, Momo being adorable and Akari being all over Nikaido's fluffiness. So we'll see what we get this time. We're going to watch and discuss the episode. Subtitles and timer are on the screen if you want to follow along, or you can pull up the episode on the side. But let's go in 3, 2, 1, play. Alright, let's get the OP, which, again, I really do love. Straight up, it's one of my favorite OPs ever. And like I said at the beginning, I'll probably like it even more after I have more context from the show. Because I've only watched 4 episodes, and yet for some reason it feels like I've watched so much more. And not in a bad way. In a way that, I feel like I'm just so into this world and these characters, and that I want to see so much more of them, that it feels like I've spent a lot more time with them than I have. So yeah. In a very good way. But, real quick, let me say that if you enjoy these videos, subscribe to the channel. Sangatsu comes out every Friday, with other new videos every day. Also, check out the description for Patreon, Twitter, Discord, all that stuff. You can check out the Patreon to support me and get these videos early and vote in polls to decide what shows I watch. Yeah, thanks. Can't wait to learn more about Ray and everybody, because we had that little bit of flashback last time that seemed rather dark with that woman. I need to listen to the full version of this song. I don't think I ever have. I'll look that up later. Chapter 9, Agreement. Got some shogi going on. Ah, Little Ray. He was good. Even as a kid. Okay. Friend of his father. Capture the dragon. There's a dragon in shogi? You just had a feeling? Yeah, he thought ahead, predicted, outmaneuvered. He was good. That's cool. I mean, I guess he had fun playing shogi with him. And that would be his actual dad. I can tell. Alright, so maybe he kind of takes after his dad with shogi. Cool, it was a way to spend time with his dad. That's why he got into it, really. And got so good. Damn, shogi was a way to connect to his dad, and then of course his dad died, and everyone died. That must make shogi really... I feel like that would make it simultaneously really sad to keep playing, but also your only connection to him, and you would want to keep playing. All he knew was shogi. He couldn't talk to any of the other kids. Were they talking about cartoons and shit? And this guy, he could talk to. His future foster dad or whatever. Okay. What's up with the aunt? Oh, okay, she owns that place. Oh, that's too bad. That's not as bad as it could have been. Was that a no smoking sign though? Right next to that? Is that what that was? But yeah, okay. So that's why she works there, I guess. Her aunt owns it. So let's go get Momo. Yeah, Momo time is fun. That water looked nice. Oh, what a precious little building. Oh, she's so cute. Ah! I just used her as the thumbnail last time, and I want to do it again. Do you see her big old smile? Look at her. She's adorable. How precious. Her little hat. Her little kindergarten hat. What the hell is she even saying? It doesn't matter. The cat song. Precious. I don't know it. Why don't you teach it to me? Yeah. Ah, no, my hat. Oh, okay, there. I can't help it. She's cute as hell. Sometimes there are things that are so obviously designed to be really cute. And you're like, I'm not buying into that. That's too sappy. That's too saccharine. But sometimes you just can't help it, and it warms your heart. Now she's being chased by a friendly ghost. Oh no! I would have been scared of a dog that big when I was that young. He's bigger than her. And she fell. Oh no! Maybe it'll be nice now. Maybe he'll calm down and go lick her wounds. She skinned herself up. No, yeah, that's actually... You gotta... You fucked up, lady. Like, you gotta fucking keep control of your dog. It just got away from you and just fucking chased a little child and it got injured. Like, Jesus. Control your fucking dog. Or an asshole. You know, dog's gonna do what it's gonna do. Keep a hold of it. If you can't, don't take it out. I don't want Momo to be hurt. Why would you do this? That's so mean. Oh, better than the last time that I get injured when I fell down walking my dog. I'll tell that story in the discussion. I got fucked up. That might be an exaggeration. I didn't break a fucking leg or anything, but couldn't walk right for like a week. Or two. Memories. What was that exactly? Sister. All she reminds him of his sister. Oh man, now he's crying. Yay. Meowby. I didn't cry. Oh, what a tattletale. She's so chubby cheeked. It's cute. So I guess his sister was younger than him. She reminds him of her. And I guess Akari knows that. I assume she knows the details of his life, at least some of them. A sister. Oh, fuck. Oh, Jesus. Look, oh, that's... That's a horrifying image. Oh my god. Ah, don't say that. That's fucking... Holy shit. I thought when he was holding... When we saw the little flashback of her arm, I was like, is that when she's dead? But I was like, I don't know if they're gonna go that dark. But yeah, that was when they were dead. Drunk fucking driver. Oh, some fucking asshole. Just some dumb fucking piece of shit made some stupid decision and caused that. Oh, he was gonna take over a hospital? Is that the lady from the flashbacks? His aunt? But they're just like, oh, find him a good orphanage. Yeah. No alone time. I relate. You got to have your personal time every now and then. His dad's friend. He was very close to him. I don't think the aunt was the lady from before. I don't think that'll work out. I didn't know they had like their own hospital. I didn't know that his family had something so big. But the sister's just being all bitchy about it, like, oh, we're taking over the hospital now. We'll find Ray an orphanage. I'll take you in if you play shogi with me. And he said yes. Damn. He didn't even really like it particularly. Wow. He knew he had to lie. Oh, we're gonna go watch. We're gonna just interrupt the show and go watch One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. That'll take a while. That's a whole ass movie. Anyway, yeah. Why am I doing this to myself? Why am I watching this? It's just sad. You gotta watch an episode, be like, well, that was horrifying, and then be like, yep, I choose to now go on to the next one. I could see people watching this and being like, I've had enough. I'm good. which is a testament to the quality, but also that people would endure and keep going. Sangatsu. Anyway. Gotta fix the sweater. Get up! Whoa. Okay, I see. Is that the girl? She doesn't look Kyoko. Oh, okay. I was gonna say she doesn't look that much older, but 4 years older, so. And a kid who was his age who looked kind of dejected and maybe suffered abuse from her too. 4 years older than him, the guy's actual children, and they were serious about shogi, and she seemed to be kind of a bitch. What the fuck does that mean? What do you mean she's just a girl? She's just some dumb girl. What the fuck do girls know? Like, what the fuck does that mean? You can't expect girls to know things. Like, about things? What? Whoa. Oh my god! Why? Yeah, no, what a... Jesus! Oh, it's fine. She's just a girl. Just ran in there, opened the window, climbed in, and punched him in the face! Oh god, he called him dad. And she's like, Mother... God, I'm surprised she didn't fucking murder him. Where is she nowadays? Prison? I would imagine. Like, what? Oh, and he's being praised. That kid just looks like he's terrified of his sister. He's like, I'm just going to stay over here in the back. I'm not going to say anything. He's learned how to not upset her, I'm sure, after living with her for his whole life. It's all shogi all the time. So she seems way into it, but I wonder how much they actually like shogi and how much they're doing it for him. Maybe she's really into it. Maybe the boy isn't. I don't know. He doesn't seem very happy. Oh, yeah. Damn. Ray getting better than him at shogi. Oh, hi, dog. That looks like my dog. I have a white German Shepherd. So this kid got depressed. That would make Ray depressed. He wants to quit shogi. There was the other white dog too, but this one was kind of bigger and fluffier. Mm-hmm. Gotta have that determination. I can't wait to see those kids in the future. So yeah, at the beginning of the show, when the guy said like, "Oh, I don't remember what he said, but he mentioned them." He said like, "Oh, they were thinking about you or something," and Ray was like, "Oh yeah, right." So now we have more context to that, and he's gonna beat her too. I mean, that would suck from their perspective that he gets brought into their house and then just is better. But also, she's a bitch. Damn. You know, it's the way of the world. If someone's better than you, they're better than you. But it does really suck for them. Like, I get where they're coming from. She just seems a little extreme. Gallivanting. He became a NEET. Like, all those troubles stemmed from shogi, but that's all he had. He just had to get more and more immersed into shogi. Turns out it was a shogi tile that was driving the truck that killed his family. It's all down to shogi. Oh. Is that a thing? Is that a real thing? What? Yeah. Okay. I did get the metaphor, yes, Ray, thank you. Pretty much. But you already know. Shogi. But we know that he is in school still, so obviously this didn't go through. Well, he was just thinking about them, how he had to get out of there. I mean, he did leave. Did GoPro, of course. He is in school, though, right? Didn't we see the scene on the roof where he was talking to his teacher? That was school, wasn't it? Was I wrong? Is that not what that was? Maybe that wasn't a school teacher. I'm not sure. I thought he was still in school. But I guess it would make sense if he's not. Oh, it's all big on him. Is the episode over now? Great, because now I'm just sad. Thanks. Well, though, that was very interesting. I'm glad we got so much information. But yeah, let's talk about it. Alright, episode 5. Well, that was heavy. It's hard to even talk about it right now. I feel like I kind of need to take a little bit of a break in between watching it and talking about it, just to kind of let it all sink in. Yeah, like I was saying, I mean, this show has had so much emotion in it so already, all this early on, and it feels very real and genuine and so connected to the characters already, and it's very interesting, and it's the kind of show that I could see somebody not wanting to continue watching because it's just too much for them, and the kind of show where you've got to force yourself to keep going in a good way, like, do I really want to keep feeling the pain? Yes, next episode, because it's just too good. I mean, getting so much of Ray's backstory was great. I'm glad that we learned so much here about him and all the people around him. Like, so many of these characters are so complex already. Like, it's so clear how three-dimensional they all are. We learn more about the woman who we had seen flashes of before, and the family that he lived with after his parents died, and any assumptions you might have right away, they change as I watch the episode, and I learn more about them, and I think about their situations, and there are so many things that are hard to judge. Like, how Rei didn't like shogi, really. He played it to get close to his father. He was really unable to relate to so many other kids, and all he really had was shogi. And so his dad's friend, who he could talk to and who talked to him like an adult, he didn't talk down to him because he respected that he was so good at shogi, and he saw how different he was. He was able to think ahead and plan out and predict his opponent's moves. He was very talented at it, and he respected him. He was close with him. And even though he didn't really care much for shogi, he liked that, and he liked how close it made him to his father. We have the guy himself, his future stepfather, or whatever you'd call him, who seemed like a really great guy, took in Rei, helped him out, but we see how his relationship was with his own kids, how it was really a household based around shogi. That's all they were focused on all the time. And the kids kind of seemed to base their worth off of how good they were at shogi, and whether intentional or not, that seems to just kind of be a byproduct of the atmosphere that their father raised them in. And with Kyoko, it was great to see her, because we've seen little flashes of her, so we finally get to see who that was, and we still don't know the full extent of everything she may have done, but this adds a lot to her, sheds a lot of light. I was very hard on her during the episode, because she's introduced as being pretty wild, pretty violent. She seems very extreme, and we're more into Rei's head than we are into her. Plus, the show has already shown us flashes of her in the past, kind of predisposing us to think of her as a bad person. So I'm going into her character thinking, oh, this bitch, and I'm still thinking that, but not in a totally black and white sense, because we see more of how they were raised, and we see the kids, and I was even, just from what I already thought about her and how she seemed, I was thinking that the brother was how he was, so quiet and kind of dejected off in the corner, maybe because of her. But we see more about that, and that's also because of their father and because of Rei's intrusion into their family, which is a very understandable thing from their perspective. Just some new kid comes into your house, your father might kind of treat him more like a son that he loves than he treats you like his children. He calls him dad, he's getting all this attention, he's getting so good at shogi, he's beating you all, he's winning. So the kid, the brother, Ayumu, he gives up, stays in his room playing video games. Kyoko is more rambunctious. She lashes out. She's very violent. A lot of the time she wants to keep going until her father tells her not to go anymore. And so there's so many things here where these characters aren't perfect. Like Kyoko, she's handling this wrong. She's being way too violent and mean about it, and something that's not Rei's fault. But you also understand where she is coming from, and also she's young. She's not that young where I can totally excuse it, because Rei, around the time, I guess he would have been 13-ish if she was 4 years older than him. She's almost an adult, but she's still young enough to make dumb decisions. Ayumu was very young, though. He was Rei's age. But yeah, that's understandable. And with the dad, he seems to have his children's best interest at heart. He wanted them to learn shogi. They seemed into it, mostly just seemingly to please him. I don't know how much either of them really liked it, or how much of it was like Rei and just trying to have something they could connect to their father with and please him. But, again, whether intending to or not, that's kind of the environment that he ended up raising them in. And he was just trying to reward, he was doing a very good thing by taking Rei in, and was just trying to reward his talent, maybe not necessarily trying to completely alienate his kids, but that's what he did, and he probably could have done plenty more for them. Like when the son gave up, maybe he could have handled that better than he presumably did. Telling his daughter to give up, that's very complex issue, because as he was saying, we're talking about going pro, and it's very serious. You're talking about trying to make this your career, where if you don't succeed, then you have no money, and what do you have? And it's gonna be very hard, and you don't have what it takes to succeed there, and she wants to keep trying. And so you can look at it as, you got to encourage your children to follow their dreams and try to do what they want to do. And if they're gonna make a mistake and fail, you've got to let them make their mistakes and fail on their own so they can learn and grow, and at least they got to try, and at least what would have happened. You don't have to stop and wonder what would have been because you tried. But on the other hand, you can look at it as a father just concerned about the future of his children from his perspective, just thinking about it logically. He sees her as someone who couldn't succeed on the pro level, so he says, no, you're not allowed to do it. So it's a very complex issue. It's hard to say whether that was the wrong choice. That's kind of up to opinion, but yeah, like a lot of these people, you can just see where they're coming from, and I can't wait to see more about them. I can't wait to meet Ayumu and Kyoko in the present. I went back and looked at that scene from episode 1, and what he had said was, Ayumu and Kyoko are worried about you, and Rei said, that's a lie. So I actually wonder about that, because they would obviously be older now, so maybe they've matured to the point where they actually are worried about him, or maybe it just was a lie. Maybe they don't give a shit about him. I don't know, but I can't wait to meet them in the present to see what they're up to and how they are. But, yeah, that fucking image, the little flash we get of him with the arm when he's reminded of his little sister. There was so much in this episode. This was fucking heavy. I was like, is that when she's dead? It can't be right. They wouldn't do that. And then sure enough, we get that image of the three of them under the sheets, dead, and the sister is so small. That one image brought me to tears alone, and it's doing it again right now. That image was fucking horrifying. Wow. I didn't expect to just see something like that, and just to be killed, a drunk driver, just something like that, to just wipe out the lives and the happiness of so many people, and to have such a domino effect. I mean, obviously ending their lives so tragically, but the way it affected Rei, the way that then affected this other family, and the way it's just affected so many people's lives connected to all of them is terrible. And we learn more about Rei's family and how it affected them too. About how apparently his family owned a hospital that his dad was set to inherit, but then his sister, who seems to be a fucking bitch. I mean, we've already seen gray area in a lot of these characters, and as we learn more about them, I'm sure we'll learn even more complexities to Kyoko. I really hope that we really get to see her a lot in the future, and that we'll actually really come to like her. That would be a great turnaround from what we were presented with at the beginning, but with that aunt, I don't know about her. She just like, oh yeah, we'll get Rei in an orphanage. Oh, I'm gonna have the hospital now. She just seemed like she's power hungry, jealous, and the guy coming along to bring Rei into his family and having to lie about shogi. It's interesting how it all kind of ties back to shogi in a really sad way. Like I said in the reaction, he might feel really sad continuing to play shogi because that was a tie that he had to his dad. But it might also be the one thing that would still connect him to his dad, that might make him want to keep playing, and then he also had to lie about it to him in order to even survive. So shogi being this thing he's so good at, that he has all this emotional connection to, and yet so much trauma surrounding, like it's really sad that that's what his life revolves around, and you can see why he is the way that he is. And he is in school. I went back and watched that episode, or that part in episode 1. That was school. So he was talking about dropping out. So you can tell me in the comments, did he just not drop out? Did he drop out, but then maybe he just took a break and then went back? Can you do that? Like, I know you can go get a GED, you can take like night classes, whatever. But if you drop out of school, can you just get back in? I guess you can, like depending on how long it's been, how old you are, something like that. I don't know, but maybe he took a break for like a year and then went back, something like that. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, just his whole situation, all the guilt that he obviously feels. We saw that before, him feeling guilty about winning, and we see where that might stem from, like how guilty he felt about what he did to this family, blaming himself for tearing them apart when it's not on him. And oh man, it's just like a lot of the decisions, like from the father, he was doing what he thought was best, and maybe he just kind of went wrong in some ways. Maybe he wasn't the perfect parent. A lot of it is just a product of the way of the world. Like, you play a game like this, someone's going to win and someone's going to lose. The professional circuit, the culture of Japan is just the way that it is. And some people can't make it in that kind of career, and that's just how it is, and there's nothing you can do about it. And it's just kind of a sad byproduct of that. And Rei's feeling so much guilt personally about all of this, and the metaphor with the birds, which That's crazy. I never knew about that. But that's really nice. It's very on the nose, and Rei, of course, is even saying, "Oh, that's me." But it works because it's not just like a random metaphor for the audience for no reason. It's actually important in universe because Rei saw that, and that made him realize the state that he saw himself in, and made him realize that he wanted to get out of that situation, which he obviously did when he moved out. But you also have so much adorable Momo shit, which I almost completely forgot about because the rest of the episode was just sad and really heavy. But yeah, at the beginning, she was so adorable, and she makes all these cute faces, and she's great, and I love her. And she gets chased by the dog, and it's like, lady, get control of your goddamn dog. Don't make my Momo cry. Don't make my Momo get hurt. What the hell is wrong with you? But yeah, that was all sad. But then it gets really real when Rei's reminded of his sister, and he's the one crying, and you just gotta thank those sisters for being there for some levity, and for Rei too, not just for the audience, but for taking care of him the way that they do, and for Akari understanding his situation and understanding why he would have cried there. Man. But like I was saying, just real quick, the dog story. There are some, when I used to live with my parents around the block, there were these shitty ass fucking dogs. There were these 2 dogs, and for whatever reason, their owners always let them out in the front yard, even though they were mean piece of shit dogs. I've never hated dogs before. I love dogs, I love animals, but I hated these fucking dogs. If those dogs died, I wouldn't have been sad, and I've never said that before. But anytime anybody would walk by out in the street, especially if they had a dog with them, those dogs would come fucking charging, barreling at the fence, like just going fucking crazy, barking all over the place, like acting horribly violent. And so of course, if you're walking a dog, if you're walking like a small dog, they're gonna get scared and terrified and making it hard to walk them. And if you're walking a big dog, they're gonna get riled up and charge towards the fence at them. And so they were just a nuisance to anybody who walked by, and they sucked. And one day I was walking my dog, and they caught me off guard, suddenly came out of the house charging towards us, and I didn't see it coming. I didn't brace myself. So then my dog, who is a white German Shepherd, and he's like 90-something pounds, suddenly pulled, and I wasn't ready for it. So I went down, and this was in the summer, so I was wearing shorts and short sleeves, and I hit the ground, the street, and I rolled several times, and I got up, and my fucking elbows and arms were all skidded up. My knees were all skidded up. One knee in particular was hurt up pretty bad. I couldn't walk right for a week or 2, so fuck those dogs. I hate them. And the sister's family, too. To get back on track with the actual show, we learn a little bit more there. The aunt who we're introduced to. I thought that was a no smoking sign, which would have been really funny, but I think that was a sign for a smoking area, which makes a lot more sense. But yeah, she owns that place where Akari works, and so just getting a little tiny bit more info about people, which is great. I'm so glad that we got so much information about Rei, though. I didn't really expect it. I never really know what to expect going into a new episode. We could focus on anything, but to get so much depth to the character, and I mean, like I said at the beginning, I've spent so little time in this show, but I feel so connected to it, to this world and these characters, and with what it's done so far, with the amount of depth that it's given to everybody, like I'll from now on, I'll never be surprised when it gives any kind of character any amount of depth that I may not have been expecting. I'm fully expecting its character work to be really damn great. Like, I'm looking forward to anything that this show wants to show me. It can do so much happy stuff too, like just when you're around the sisters or Nikaido, like you had the scene with Bodoro, and it's all so cute and fun. You can have that in there, but then you just have these episodes that just hit so strong emotionally. Like, this was the best one yet. And it feels so intentional. It doesn't feel like it's a tone breaking or anything, and I love it. I'm scrolling through the episode again just to see if there's anything else I need to talk about, and it's sad. Like, it's just so real. It's so fucking like close to home and hard hitting and relatable and understandable with all these characters, and I'm just, I'm so sad for Rei and everything that he's experienced in his life. Just talking about it is making me sad. But it's so good that, yeah, like, I absolutely want to keep watching. But it's, I've rarely had experience like this, honestly. I mean, you don't really have that with a movie. Like, you could pause it and stop it, I guess. But if you're watching a movie, you're going to finish it. But if you're watching a show or reading a book where you got to force yourself to keep going and it's just being so sad that you're like, you know what? I gotta stop for a bit. I've rarely had anything like that, and I could see myself, if I were binging this show, where I'd be like, you know what, I need to take a break. But again, that's just testament to its quality. Because I really, really want to keep going, for sure, and I want to see everything that's going to happen, but also, it can be a little exhausting. While I may not have just burst into tears uncontrollably like the Madoka finale, there's just something about it that's just so real and genuine and down to earth that it kind of seeps in a little deeper. It's less of just an overt, gonna cry my eyes out sadness, and more one that just kind of, like I said, seeps in on a deeper level and just kind of affects you and kind of makes you spend the rest of the day like, oh, life is just hell. Great. So yeah, I can't wait to hopefully meet Ayumu and Kyoko in the present. Hopefully it's not too long. It's so interesting, like how my perspective shifted as I watched it and how I thought about it more afterwards. And just because we're coming into it from Rei's perspective, kind of framing her as an antagonistic force, but then really understanding where they're coming from too, in the situation they're in, the way they were raised, and just how young they are. And again, there's a lot of complexity to a lot of these characters and the things that they've done. And thank you, Shaft, for the amazing visuals. Like, it was so engrossing just watching all of that. I started this episode like, yeah, Momo, the cat song, great. And then it's a little bit of sadness, like, oh no, Momo got hurt, how cruel. And then it was just depression. But it all looked great and sounded great, because Shaft is good people. So yeah, goddamn. Very excited to watch the next one, but, you know, I'll be okay if I take a few days in between. So let me know your thoughts on this one. This was fantastic. That was an incredible episode, and I'm loving this show so much for having only watched 5 episodes. I'm glad there's a lot more. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you enjoyed. Check out the Patreon. Really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.